Alright, so this is I believe an early 70s Frigid 8-inch oscillating fan, if I remember correctly. '6 of 72. I believe that means June of 72. I could be wrong, but I would assume that that's a date code. I believe it's an 8-inch, as I said. Maybe I didn't say it, I don't remember, but if I did, whatever. It's got 4 blades, obviously. It looks like same style of blade that the Marvin fans have. It has a nice sturdy metal guard. The badge is aluminum. It's kind of cheap. I believe this is zinc or maybe magnesium. I don't know. Probably zinc. I don't believe it's aluminum, but all the paint just lifted off. I found it on the side of the road along with an old Electrolux vacuum, which I also grabbed. But I'll record a video of that later. It needs work. I've done nothing to it besides put a tiny bit of oil on the oscillating cam to get it to move. It's got the original cord. Very flat 2-prong cord here. And your typical cord. Pretty typical of the time. I would like to put a grounded cord on it just because it is all metal. I am going to, clean this up at some point, polish the blades, which I believe are aluminum. I'm gonna go through the motor, replace the grease in the oscillator box, lubricate the motor, probably replace this cord. Even though this cord's good, I'd like to put a grounded cord on this because it is all metal. 1-speed, typical shaded pole motor. You guys see in there? Scratchy as hell power switch. Very scratchy. Some contact cleaner or deoxidant in there might help. If not, I might replace it. It's not a big deal. I don't know if this screw here is original to keep it in. I could be, wrong. I feel like it's probably not original. I could be wrong, but that's just my guess. The oscillation is kind of annoying. So how this works is when it's running, the gearbox, obviously drives this. There's no clutch or anything to turn it on and off. Your clutch is essentially you just loosen this thumb screw. Similar to some of the really old fans did this too, but you just turn it and you slide it and it moves this thumb screw when it's in its resting position here. It's in line with the axle or the shaft that comes out of the oscillator box, and then you can move it, and it's all gummed up. At least it functions now, but you can move it, and now it's essentially like a crank. Now it'll oscillate back and forth, and then to stop it, and I guess you could put it anywhere in between all the way out and all the way in to probably get a partial oscillation or a slower range of motion or a lesser angle. That's what I'm thinking of. But when I got it, I had to lubricate this because it was pretty hard to get it to move at all. And I believe I had to lubricate the neck here and get it to move. I believe it was pretty much too much for the motor to handle, but it did run. Like I said, switch is very scratchy. I'll turn it on for you guys. It's actually quite powerful. 1-speed. See, it likes to float back and forth a little bit, even though it's on stationary. I don't know if that's just the design flaw or if there's crap in there that's preventing the thumb screw adjustment from going all the way, in line with the axle. But it is oscillating back and forth very slightly, as you can see. And then, it's got gummy bearings. This is the, I already shot this video once. I didn't like how it came out. So it's a little better than it was, but the first time it took a while to get up to speed. Took a good 10 seconds. Oh, I'm bleeding. That's cool. Oh my god, this thing sucks. I don't like this design. I don't imagine I'd like this design when I'm, you know, when it was new, never mind. Now that's 50 something years old, 53 years old and miserable. I'll get it working better again. Here's the oscillation. It's probably not, I don't think it's all the way as far as it'll oscillate. I think it could go a little more, but I'm not fighting with it. Like I said, the further out that goes from the cam, the further the angle will be. But that's pretty much, that should be mostly out. And it's bogging down a bit as it oscillates. Like I said, it needs some work. Yeah. But this will be a good candidate for, I'm not going to keep it, you know, seeing the original color. If it was in good shape, I would, but you know, the paint is flaking off. I'm not gonna keep it this color. I'm going to probably paint it. That feels like it's finally all the way in. I don't know. Maybe it's just a design flaw. I don't know. I think I'm gonna paint it. I have this Rust-Oleum paint. I gotta make sure it's still good. It was like this beautiful electric, like metallic electric blue color. I believe it had speckle, like sparkles in it. Beautiful color. I want to paint this that color. If that can of paint's not good, I'm gonna go find more. It just seems to be kind of a hard color to find. I don't know if they discontinued it or what. I got it on clearance a few years ago, but I'm determined I want to use it on something, because if it sits in a can forever, it's not gonna do me any good. So might as well start using it. I've had it for, I think, 3 years, so might as well use some of it. So I think this will be a good candidate. I'll clean this all up, paint it. I'll probably polish the blades. I kind of want to keep the blades, you know, I don't want to paint them. I think I'm going to make the blades, just polish them really well, make them really shiny. And then if they come out like shit, then maybe I'll paint them, but let's start off with polishing the blades. I think that I can get them a nice shiny, you know, like a mirror-like shine. Yeah, and there it is. I'll get a startup sound. There really isn't, there's a lot of noise. I can turn the music off for a minute, but there really isn't much of a startup sound. It's there, but you're not gonna hear much. Try one more time. Put the camera right against the motor. Anyway, so that's it for the little Frigid. Like I said, I've been very busy. I've been doing a lot of things, so I haven't been really actively recording on YouTube. I've been popping in, I've been watching videos, but I haven't really had the energy or the time to produce a lot of videos. Now I'm gonna start hopefully trying to ramp up my production. Not crazy, but a few years ago, I think it was 2015 into 16, I actually gained a lot of subscribers. It's a small channel, yeah, I know. I'm not trying to be, you know, one of those giant channels, but yeah, that time I think that worked. I was uploading a couple times a week, sometimes every night, sometimes once a week. That seemed to work out well, so I'm gonna try and get back on that schedule, but it's hard because a lot of things are different than they were back 10 years ago. Anyway, so I would like to, you know, I do want to start working on these projects. I've been doing a lot of stuff, I just haven't been filming it. So I'm gonna hopefully clean this up and, you know, start kind of going into it. Maybe I can make a series of it. Maybe not like start to finish, you know, recording the whole process, but maybe I can make like updates on it once I eventually start it. But my projects usually have at least a year or so wait list from the time I get them to the time I actually do them. But we'll see how this comes out. I think this will come out nice. Like I said, I would like to put a, you know, this is the original cord from what I can tell. Seems like the original cord that should have been on it. I think I'm gonna do a, I think I'm gonna make it that blue color. I think it'll look really nice. I'm not too worried about originality. I literally just lifted all the paint off the base and shit literally it came off in a sheet. It was actually very satisfying to pull off. But anyway, thanks for watching, and that's it for the little Frigid for now. Until next time, thanks for watching.